This is part 1 of the spring retainer, resetting the teeth. One of the first things I do is mark the incisal edges. It helps to really see the alignment of the teeth and really show, which teeth are more lingual, which teeth are rotated. It really helps to visualize where the teeth need to be. And then after it's all done, after you've cut them out and waxed them in, you can really see how well they form the arch of the mouth. So what I'm doing now is I'm scoring between the teeth with a sharp knife, like an X-Acto knife, a Bard Parker, or I'm using this one that I got from JBC and Company, which is a very, very sharp knife that's very, very, very strong, or stronger than X-Acto knife or Bard Parker that break real easily. So I score in between each teeth so that when I go to cut them out, they break along the score line. It's kind of, you're directing the break, because it's kind of a random process unless you do this part. So that's scored. Now I'm in the little bin here, and I take a number 8 round burr, and I just kind of poke through the gingiva so that I can take my cutting burr and cut long ways. Because my cutting burr won't poke through the stone, but it will cut sideways. So here I am cutting sideways. I'm cutting sub-gingiva, probably 2 to 3 millimeters below the gingival margin of the teeth, and I'll cut up through, cut out all the gingiva in between the 3 and the 2 until it breaks off. And just be real careful not to cut off any teeth, and it should just break off that easy. So now I make some marks underneath the cut, and these are just like wax retention marks. Helps to keep the teeth in. Same thing on the actual model. And then I take the section that I cut out, the 4 anterior teeth, and I just start cutting underneath from the gingiva side, and I just remove all the gingiva all the way up to the teeth. And it's usually about 3 cuts. The buccal side, or the facial side, the lingual side, and then up interproximally between the teeth. And remember, I'm just cutting the gingiva, and then it should easily break off once you get enough of it removed. It should hopefully break along the score mark. So it should just take a little bit of a twist and it break off. And I just keep doing that one at a time. Take a look at the position of my fingers as I do this. If you slip with that burr, you want to make sure your fingers are out of the way so that you don't get your fingers. I have nicked my fingers plenty of times to learn how hard to push, and it helps to have a very sharp burr when you do this. And again, just only the gingiva, and just slightly twist and break. So now I'll collect all 4 teeth. Hopefully you've marked them. I didn't mention that before, but hopefully you marked them and you'll know which teeth go where when you're done. So now I just clean off the break points. And also, if any teeth were rotated, this is where I'll cut the rotation gingiva off, so that you're going to straighten these teeth and the gingiva will come with it. So you want to kind of taper it down to almost a point. But you don't want to take off too much interproximally on the tooth surface, or else you'll have too much space. So what I'm doing off in the corner over there is cutting a little strip of base plate wax, or denture wax, and I'm going to cut it to fit the edentulous space. Fold it in half, and I'm going to wax this little wall in, and I'm going to use it as kind of like a wax rim, if you're familiar with dentures, and set my teeth in there. And what I'll do is I'll heat up my spatula and heat up a little area of that wax wall and just place my teeth in. And what I'm going to do is just tentatively set them into place and not worry about perfect alignment just yet, but just getting the teeth in the right spot where they're supposed to be, and that way all the teeth are where I get a good look at them in a general position, and then I'll go back and set them perfectly. And I just work from the outside in. So I start with the twos, and then I go to the ones or the centrals. Start with the laterals and go to centrals, and just set them in there one at a time. And this is where you can figure out if, once you get to this last tooth, if you have enough space. And what you may need to do is push them all out, set them in exactly, and then strip between the teeth. And you'll have to wait on doctor's instructions if you need to strip or not. Or some doctors may have you go ahead and strip where you need to, and just tell them where you strip between the teeth, so they know which teeth to strip between. And here they are, just generally set up right now. And what I'm going to do is, they're pretty close. So I'm just going to use my fingers. The wax is still warm and soft. And I'll just try to get them in the ideal arch form. Now, what you need to watch out for is sometimes the canines are out of position, like this one. And so you don't need to follow the line that the canine makes in the arch form. And you'll have to just kind of imagine where the canine should be, and then you'll find your arch form once you get done. Now, once you get it set, wax and run up wax in between each of the teeth, and this is going to help really set it so that they don't come out real easy. So I'm just checking the height of them, make sure they don't stick up any higher than the canines. And then just fill in all the extra wax. Now this is going to have acrylic covering it, so you need to make sure you almost overfill this area, because if you underfill, your acrylic will get in there and irritate the gum. So if you overfill, you'll at least have an airspace. But again, you're going to have wires there. Once I bend wires, most of the acrylic will be removed anyway. And so there it is, filled in. Fill in a few more spots, smooth it out. You know, you can get as pretty as you want. Depends on if you duplicate this model. Now, I don't duplicate them. I just wax them in real good, and then I build the retainer on the master model. But again, there are different ways of doing this. After reviewing this tape, I noticed that I needed to reset those. Here's a picture of before and after. So there's before, and then there's after. And like I said before, I noticed I probably need to push those mesial of the centrals facially, but it's just a very slight.